My name is Alexey Titarenko. I was born in St. Petersburg, and that is where I live. I have been photographing St. Petersburg since I was 8 years old. In fact, I have devoted my entire life's work to this city. The history of my city, as well as the history of Russia in these past 20 years, are reflected in the photographs I take. Through the prism of my native city, I attempt to show events which occurred not only here, but throughout the country. The changes, the catastrophes, and the human tragedies which have swept the city and the people of this land. An artist, a photographer, for example, is filled with ideas he carries around with him, without knowing what they look like. The act of creation consists in making these ideas visible to others. In my case, the process occurs when I stroll about the city like this. I walk along, and suddenly something catches my eye. I find myself looking at what I was seeking. I myself was born on a small industrial street on Vasilyevsky Island, in a house like this one, looking out on a maze of inner courtyards, crisscrossed from dawn until dusk by crowds of workers, whose paths led along 24th Street on Vasilyevsky Island. Today, the scenes I observe mingle naturally with my childhood memories. Whenever I am especially struck by the sight of a building, or an event in a courtyard, or a cityscape, it is because it touches something buried deep inside me, related to my childhood memories. This type of feeling is a gauge of authenticity for me, and it is what drives me to capture the image on film. My parents and I live in a communal apartment. The five of us had one small room for ourselves, and to keep me from bothering the others in the morning, every evening my parents used to give me a book to read when I woke up in the morning. As a result, by the time I was 7 or 8 years old, I read quite a bit, and the literature had fueled my imagination. I enjoyed going for a stroll after reading. Often one or another of the city's little crannies would arouse a mysterious but powerful emotion inside me. And it seemed that by photographing these locations, I could communicate the wordless awe which had transfixed me. My parents had given me a camera as a gift, and I take it with me to try to take pictures in various neighborhoods around the city. Of course, when I was a child, I was still unable to grasp the concept that a mere recording of reality on film would not be sufficient to communicate what I felt. To some extent, St. Petersburg still looks like it did in the 19th century. By evoking its eternal themes, water, ice, and the canals, one may approach the soul of the city, giving a more eloquent interpretation of its unique character, what sets it apart from other cities. Gribadov Canal is a popular destination for Petersburgians. It's a place where lovers tend to meet, and it lends itself well to long reveries during the white nights. This is where I made my most romantic photographs. The ones that are closest to Dostoevsky's short stories and his novel, Crime and Punishment.
Есть, Настенька, если вы того не знаете, есть в Петербурге довольно странные уголки. В эти места как будто не заглядывает то же солнце, которое светит для всех петербургских людей, а заглядывает какое-то другое, новое, как будто нарочно заказанное для этих углов, и светит на все иным, особенным светом. Услышите вы, что в этих местах проживают странные люди, мечтатели.
In the early 1990s, I was still working on my nomenclature of signs cycle. The series was a criticism of the totalitarian regime and the power of the nomenclatura, but it was no longer relevant to the reality unfolding before our eyes.